I could have known one beyond my wildest dreams. Maybe that one could have carried me to streets of gold. Things aren't always as they seem. Looking back on all the chances that I missed, some I held, some slipped away. One street over where my memories exist, I wondered what would change, I really couldn't say. In this life there's nothing certain, except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing, I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known, would have kept me from what I had today. Except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing, I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known, would have kept me from what I had today.
Good morning, Robertson County, points beyond all the areas listening to us. This is 1100 WSGI. This is one street over. I'm U-Turn Laverne, and we're just so glad to have you join us. And I explained again what we say when, we cover the county very well with the terrestrial signal and then the edges of the county. But you can listen to us on the web, on the interwebs, the worldwide network. You can listen to us on YouTube. You can find us with the app. I was talking to a friend of mine. I'll just tell real quick. Now, tomorrow is normally Faith Friday. But the Tennessee Radio Hall of Fame is meeting on Saturday. And I've got some friends that are converging on the area that are normally not here. A good friend of mine, Carlos Clemente, out of California, is actually the news director that hired me in Nashville in 1984. And he is in town. And so he's going to come in. And so we're going to have a little bit of old time. We're just going to revisit old radio stuff. So I hope y'all will indulge me and let me just talk to my friend tomorrow. And I think it'll be an awful lot of fun. And Gwen will join us as well. But this is going to be kind of old school radio tomorrow. And I'm really looking forward to that, seeing a lot of friends. They are inducting a couple of really good friends of mine at the Radio Hall of Fame this weekend. And Sharon Wilharm is in there. That's something, maybe one of these days you'll be in the Hall of Fame. Maybe we all will be one day. Pull that microphone to you, because Sharon, we were talking about her podcast, her radio show that's on 100 stations, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Good morning, sister.
Good morning.
How are you doing? I just wanted to kind of unpack for everybody what's happening tomorrow, because it's normally we're very, we're always going to get some Jesus on you in here, but because this is a Christian broadcast facility. But tomorrow, usually Friday, it's all about the Faith Friday stuff. But I've got my friend in town, and so this is the guy that hired me in Nashville. I'm gonna get you to pull that microphone right to you. You got to get right up on it.
Okay.
So we're going to be doing that tomorrow. But one thing about the Hall of Fame this weekend, if you know Devin O'Day, she's being inducted, and she was the one that worked with Jerry House for years and years and years and years, and did Devin's Nashville up at WSM. Just dear sweet friend. She's been on these airways. We've had her on a few times, and she also does a lot of the stuff with The Connection and Main Street News and all that. Have you met Devin?
Haven't.
Okay, I'm kind of surprised because she's out and about in here in the county a lot, and since you do so much media, we'll have to get y'all together at some point. But they're also inducting Phil Valentine, And yeah, and Phil and I go way back, and of course everybody knows he passed during COVID, and pretty much everybody knows, and had an incredible career, and so they're inducting him. So, big weekend for Tennessee Radio Hall of Fame, and again, Carlos will be here tomorrow. And I'm so tickled he's going to be because he lives in California. And beautiful family, beautiful girls out there, and just made a beautiful life out in California. And I see him at the dinners they have every year. But to have him in here and go on radio with me is going to be fun because he's the one who gave me my job in Nashville. It's so weird.
Great.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
I think it'll be fun. But today we're talking to Sharon Wilharm. You got a new book.
I do.
Did you bring a copy of it?
In the car, yes.
Oh, when I do a commercial, you can go grab one. But Sharon is somebody just dear to my heart because she and I kind of we kind of have the same tick. We like to write, we like to talk, we like to do those things, and we're big Jesus freaks, and we want to share Jesus with others. And I'm real in love with what you do with the stories of women because that's kind of a thing for me that I want people to understand. I love what Christy McClellan did, Jesus and Women. I love how she brought that, and
Yes.
out. And I think a lot of us women were wanting to figure out a way to do that and how we can continue to do that. And you're doing it so beautifully. And so what do you call your series that comes on every day?
It's All God's Women.
All God's Women. And how many episodes have you done? How many unique episodes have you got?
I have gone through the Bible twice.
Oh, I love it.
So I started with my podcast in March of 2020, and I was just doing it weekly, and each episode was about 10 minutes.
Okay.
And then in 2021, I started the radio show, and those were 2-minute snippets. And so then I started doing those weekly. And then when I got picked up by Moody, they said, "Can you do it daily?"
Oh, that's so cool.
And I was like, at first I was like, I don't think so. And so I ended up doing it daily for a year.
Okay.
And I finished up in May. And so I told him, I said, I've gone through the Bible twice. I have said everything I know to say, original. And they said, well, we'd like to air your reruns for another 1 to 2 years. And I said,
go for it.
Sounds great.
That is wonderful. So how can people hear these?
If they go to Moody Radio,
Okay.
There's one in Nashville.
Right.
It varies, like each station has their own. I know it comes on 4 times a day.
Okay.
But you can go to the radio. You should be able to go to the local listing and find out. I know.
That is so cool. That is so cool. I would think that would help your book sales a little bit.
I think so. It's been interesting. I also am on, it's called Faith Network. It's a group of radio stations like in the Midwest, and they air it at like 3:30 in the morning. And at first I was like, okay, that's kind of strange, but I have actually had people contact me saying, I was awake in the middle of the night and I heard your show.
Oh, how
and it made
cool.
me look up your book.
I love that. I love that. And this is not your first book because you've got, how many books have you written?
Well, I did homeschool curriculum
Oh, okay.
ago.
Okay. I thought you had, okay.
But this is the first, more traditional.
Kind of more just, okay. Yeah. Very good. I just love this. I just love your story. If y'all haven't met Sharon and her husband, remind me your husband's name.
Fred.
Fred. You guys did, if I'm not mistaken, y'all did the video when we had our big centennial. We're more than 100 years old. But our bicentennial celebration here in Springfield.
Now, he did it. That was his doings. His
I
and
figured,
Daddy.
Okay.
That was his project.
Okay.
See, that was his degree in college.
Okay.
Was broadcasting, and then didn't do anything with it until we got married, and then decided to start doing a documentary, which turned into a film, which turned into us doing 10 films or 7 films together. And then he did, a couple by himself.
See, I find that fascinating. and y'all have done some really cool stuff. And I want you to come in. We were talking about, we haven't seen each other in a while. Thank you, Lee Marie, for making this connection because your name comes up all the time. And I'm like, I've got to call Sharon. And I just don't get it done. And I do apologize because you're just an obvious person that needs to come in here and talk. And we were talking about the audio video class that I'm teaching. And I said, I think they're going to want to do these in the other schools around the district. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. You and your husband would be perfect candidates. Just saying. And I'd like to have you come talk to the students sometimes.
Oh, yes,
About
I've done
doing,
that.
oh, I want you to, because especially doing your independent films and things, because so many of them, two of my students particularly, are very interested in doing exactly what you guys are doing and what he's doing. And I would love for them to have a chance to just learn from you guys, because I mean, y'all, I keep reminding everybody, I said, I'm smart enough to know what I don't know. And I know how to do this. I mean, I've been doing this my whole life, but there's so much more. And so I need to tap into those people. So I'm going to be calling y'all to get you in
Well,
for
fun.
sure.
I like that because, when you read the books, a lot of them, it's all, everything's like Hollywood.
Yeah.
Well, independent filmmaking is not the same.
Yeah.
It's a completely different animal.
Yes,
So-
and there was a student from Greenbrier, and I can't remember her name, that did an independent film that they shared at the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. I'll have to call Michelle and find out what her name is, but I saw just a snippet of it done really well. And I've got to reach out to her as well, because that's one thing I remind my principal, Dr. Osborne. I said, honestly, I would love to have every kid in this school just for audio video one, because of what's in their pocket. Every single one of these students are broadcasters.
Yeah.
Every single one, and they just don't understand the implications of it. And so, it's one of those things. It touches everything now. Media touches everything we do. And we need to do it well, and we need to do it to the glory of God. And if we'll do that,
Yes.
we're going to get better, y'all. So I appreciate so much what you're doing. So let me do a break. I want you to run out the car and get your book so we can show it. And we're going to talk a little bit about what the content and all that is. And but we're talking with Sharon Wilharm, and I'm going to let her slip out and go get her book. And while she is doing that, let's talk about Corbin Creek Greenhouse Gifts and Gardening Center. I was out there, let's see, today is Thursday. I think I went Tuesday. Yeah, I went Tuesday because I knew she was going to be in the garden. And it's so funny. I pulled up just as she was coming out of the garden, and she had fresh squash, which I got some of that, and she gifted us with this beautiful cabbage. And my husband, it's so big and beautiful. He's like, I'm going to slice that up and fry that up in the pan like a steak. That beautiful. Their produce is absolutely gorgeous. Beautiful tomatoes. I stay away from tomatoes because of my arthritis, but man, they're wonderful. And right now, big old BL. I may have to just splurge and have a big BLT at some point before the season's over. But, mentioning arthritis, we're talking about the CBD products they have out there. I restocked my oil supply because it helps me so much with my arthritis, to the point that I honestly don't have to use it every day anymore. One thing I've gotten off of some other things that cause the inflammation. And so I think I've just kind of built it up in my system but I have to maintain it. If I get off of it for more than a week or something, I can tell a difference just immediately. So if you want to learn about CBD and how it could help you with arthritic pain or other inflammation issues, go out there and she'll explain the science to you. It's incredible. What it's done for me. A sweet friend at church last night was asking me about the CBD salve, because my friend Mary Rainey, she's a quilter, and she swears by the CBD salve that helps her hands. So I'm going to pick it up for my friend Mary, and another Mary, but I'm going to pick her up some so she can try it as well. So just a lot of great things that you can find out about at Corbin Creek. You're going to see their beautiful hydrangeas. They've got some pictures up right now on social media. Absolutely beautiful. Go out and pick up some hydrangeas, some fresh produce, or anything else beautiful and wonderful for your home. And be sure and check out the store and see all of the gift items that they have in there if you need a special gift for somebody. Miss Jane makes a lot of that stuff. It's just so cool. I love the Corbins. Go and visit with them today at 4920 Highway 161. They'll be at the farmers market again on Saturday. Don't forget about that on Saturday morning. But you can give them a call if you have any questions at 615-384-3185, 615-384-3185. I always let them know that U-Turn sent you. Sharon is back, and she brought her book. Let me see that.
There you go.
And this is Women of Prayer by Sharon Wilharm. When did this come out?
Came out at the end of August last year.
I thought it was fairly, so last year. Did you say last year?
Yeah, not this year, but yeah.
Okay, so
2022.
It's been out a year? Goodness, how in the world did I
It
miss
really
that?
has flown. I know.
It has. Oh my goodness. But I am just so excited about this because I love the things I've heard you talk about, and I love it's like a little workbook.
Yes.
questions. Oh, that's so cool. So this is something somebody could take in for a Bible study.
Yes,
Yes.
and
Oh,
there is
wonderful.
a group, I believe in Cedar Hill, that's
Uh-huh.
doing it
Oh,
this fall
cool.
at their church.
Awesome. So you could, so they haven't started it yet.
I don't think so.
Oh, so that would be
Yes.
very cool
Hmm.
if you want to hook into that. If you've got a special time coming up and you want a new book, right there you go, and it's local. But they talk about buying local. There you go.
And they have it at the local Christian
Oh,
bookstore,
they do.
Crossroads. Yes.
Wonderful,
Hmm.
wonderful, wonderful. This looks fabulous. I love this. And so, that's haven't you done some kind of a class on publishing? Have you done some kind of a workshop?
I've taught at writers'
Yeah,
conferences.
I thought you
Yes.
did.
Hmm.
And we've talked a little bit about that because that's one of the things people say, "Oh, I've got this idea for a book." And I'm like, "Well, write it. Write it." And the publishing, did you do this? Who did you
This
publish
is Elk
to?
Lake Publishing.
Okay.
They are they're kind of a small publisher, but they are working really hard, and I think that we've got about 300 authors
Oh,
with
wow.
them, and they've been really kind of hitting the market. And a lot of
Mhm.
times when you're seeing the Christian awards, there's a lot of Elk Lake being represented right now.
That is very cool. That is awesome. I love that. But so tell me what to expect if I were to get this book. Can I get it on Amazon?
Yes.
The typicals? Okay.
Also, ChristianBook.com now.
Okay.
They just picked it up.
Oh, good.
I know.
Yeah, that's great. That's really great. But having it, again, go to Crossroads. Go buy
Yes.
local. Go get it. Buy local. I
Yes.
say Amazon, because we just are
Oh,
also,
yes.
we're also lazy.
Hmm.
But go walk through the downtown square, go to Crossroads and get Sharon's book. So what can I expect when I open that book?
Well, it's a 10-week study.
Okay.
And it's a little different than a lot of Bible studies in that I wanted to go deep rather than wide.
Yes.
And so each week has the formula is you start off, you're introduced to a woman in the Bible who either prayed or talked, directly with Jesus.
Hmm.
And so that first day, you're just reading her story. The second day, you're learning the backstory and what happened. So you're putting it in context because so often these stories, you just read it at first glance and it seems okay. But then when you put it in context, there's a whole new layer to it. And then I have on the third day where you're taking that story and you're reading it in different versions of the Bible, or you're going to commentary. It's your choice, like how do you want
Yeah.
to go deeper with it? And then you're making it apply to you. What are you learning about this woman? How is this woman like you? How is she different? And then on the last day, you're comparing her to another woman in the Bible that has a similar story. And so you're taking those skills. And so the cool thing, if you're doing it in a Bible study, with a group of women, you can read the first day and you can have discussion.
Right.
But if you keep doing it each day, you're going to have new layers of understanding. So it's just how deep you want to go with each woman.
So you basically have 5 days per week. Is that how it goes?
Yes.
I was looking at the structure of that's great. That looks wonderful. I love it because all of us nobody does anything every day.
No, it sounds good.
It sounds like a concept, but that gives you the structure to say, okay, I'm going to do this 5 days a week, and it's a 10-week study. I love that. I love
Yes.
that. I love that structure. That is very cool, and I
And
love
if you
it.
just do one day, you'll still get something out of it.
So being it's a 10-week study, so you're focusing on 10 different women.
I am.
Okay. Okay. Very good. Because I'm thinking, okay, a 10-week study, 5 days a week, that's a lot of women. But it's like you dig deeper into
Right,
each one of the women, like you
exactly.
just said. Okay. Well, this is really cool, Sharon. This is well done. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. Everything you do just is done so well and so beautifully. Where do you teach anywhere local? Do you have like a Bible class or anything like that where people
I
can
just
plug
have
in?
I have a home Bible study.
I thought you did.
Yes.
So I thought somebody told me that. So is that something somebody could plug into and be a part of? How could they join that?
Just get with me on Facebook.
Okay.
Just connect either through my personal or I have a professional page,
Okay.
whichever they want to do. But yeah, we meet twice a month
Okay.
because it's hard for a lot of, women to come to commit to every week. So we do it on the second and the fourth Wednesday of each month in the morning.
Okay.
And each time we're studying a different woman of the Bible.
I love
And I
that.
use that same format where I just say, okay, this is the woman that we're studying. Here's where she's found in the Bible. Everybody reads about her, and then we come together, and it's interesting because, like, this woman will be like, "Well, I was focused on her marriage," and somebody else will say, "Wasn't that interesting how she, did this?" And so we just kind of pull together what we got out of her.
I love that. I love that. So what time did you say y'all get together
At
on?
9:30.
At 9:30.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever, like next summer, if I have a little bit of time off, can I
Yes.
plug in during the breaks and say, hey, so how could I find the schedule? Because somebody like me, I'm not available on Wednesdays at 9:30
Right.
typically, but there are times. So would it be something that I could plug in just when I could?
Oh, definitely,
Okay.
because every week is independent.
Okay.
Like it's not building upon.
Okay.
And so, yeah, like I have quite a few women. I have, it varies.
Right.
But, some women, like I had one woman, that had been out for months and then she, came back.
Pop
So,
back in.
yeah, it's fine. It
Okay.
works.
Well, I'm going to check out that schedule. I mean, that's something I would love. I love to sit around and study and talk. It's so funny because we'll sometimes get in here. I don't know if you know Rachel Culver from Bethlehem Baptist. She's the women's minister over there. Her husband's the lead pastor, and she comes in here once a month with me, and we'll get to and Gwen Harder, and we'll sit here, and it's the three of us, and man, we'll get just digging into stuff, and you just can't get enough of it. And so it was the last 2 Fridays, Ilyu's let me do 2 hours because we just don't get finished,
Yes.
And so I was like, we need extra time. And so he let us have a little extra time just to kind of talk, and we never get done. But I love that. I really enjoy sitting around the table with women and talking about the unique issues that women face in the faith world.
Yes.
And because I don't know, what did you grow up in? Did you grow
Southern
up?
Baptist.
You're Southern Baptist. Okay. Well, I grew up Church of Christ, and I'm still Church of Christ, and that's my family. That's my people. But I have disagreements with the theology, especially in regards to women. And and we go round and round about it, and I love them, but it's okay to disagree. Have you heard about the Bema podcast, Bema Discipleship, with Marty Solomon? It is a study that talks about a lot of the stuff. Did you do the Christy McClellan study, the Jesus and
yes.
Women? Okay. It's kind of long. It's along those same lines of going back to when the scripture was written to people who, why was it written this way? What was all of those things? And so when I get into all of that and study that, it is just blowing my mind how we've got things really. There's one thing, the guy that does the Bema podcast, he was talking about a rabbi he studied with, and he says it's the lullaby effect, that we've heard a story so much, and we just let it lull us to sleep without really understanding it. And I've got a feeling you dig into that with these stories. Would I be right that you dig into like the original intent of why it was written the way it was? Would that be something you do?
I try whenever possible because what we read at first glance is not necessarily what it was written. And, it's funny because I started off doing the women that everybody knew, because that's what I was familiar with. And so then I became a part of the Christian podcast network. And when the guy was interviewing me, he said, well, what happens when you run out of women? And I hadn't even thought through that.
I remember you saying that to me first time you came in. It's like, what do I do?
So that's when I started, studying these obscure women. And that's when when there's only like one verse, you're like, why did God put this one little verse about this woman?
Yeah.
Like there has to be a reason. So you study who she was and, the climate that she was going through and, all that. And it changes how you see things.
Tell me this. Okay. So put you on the spot here.
Okay.
What is one woman that you've learned about that you're just like, wow, and that would really, do you have like something just in your mind that you're like, this woman, and that you would want to share in this setting right now?
Well, to me, the most fascinating is the daughters of Zelophehad.
Okay.
And I had never heard of them.
Okay.
And they were in with Moses, and they were part of the crowd that wandered around in the desert. Their father had been one of the original ones that left, and then he had died in the desert. But when they got ready to go into the promised land, since there was no men in their family, they were doing a survey, a census, and so they were trying to determine all the men, and they were making out like land plots to determine who was going to get what. And they went before Moses and they said, it's not really fair for our family to not be represented just because we're just women. And so they said, we think that we should have a land plot so that our family can be represented. And so Moses took it to God, and God said, yes, they're right. And so they ended up being represented. And then some of the men complained because they're like, we're not sure about this. What if they marry outside of their tribe and then they get double portion? So Moses said, okay, here's the qualification. You have to marry within your tribe. And they did. And what to me was so fascinating is as I researched that, I discovered a 1921 American Law Association magazine that was all about the impact that those 5 sisters had on American property laws.
That is cool. See, people don't realize that when you go into some of our early documents, the influence that Scripture had on it. That is fascinating. That is fascinating, and it wasn't in just the last couple of years that I knew about them.
Right.
Because as I was studying all this, as I get down deeper and deeper, it's just fascinating to me. It's just fascinating to me. Well, and just like Jael.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. I heard Christy McClellan first time when she started talking about, do you do something on Jael?
I didn't my first round because she just made me uncomfortable. But the second time, I'm like, okay, I'm doing daily. I've got to address this woman.
Yeah. That's so funny because she's the one who put the tent stake.
Yes.
And killed Sisera.
Yes.
Yeah. And I was trying to look it up. I was like, I had to remember. Let's see. Okay, I was trying to remember the names, but yeah, you can't miss that. That's a crazy story. There's so many wild stories in there, and I just think this is wonderful. This is a local lady who is doing very well in the media world. We're very proud of you, sister. That is way to go, way to go.
Thank you.
I love that you had a resolve. It's like I want to do this, and you just kept after it. And because the last time I had you in, I believe you were just talking to Moody about doing something. So that's just cool.
It was funny because it was close to a year of, the first time I contacted them and they're like, well, we're not really looking. And then, but I just kept, hey, here I am.
Yeah. Hi. You have to do that.
You do.
You have to keep raising your hand. Well, that's very cool. What's next for you? What have you got you got something cooking?
I am working on a novel.
Oh, good.
This is something that I have wanted to do my entire life. And, I've always done nonfiction. It comes very easy. Fiction's not as easy. But I went to the Blue Ridge Mountains Christian Writers Conference at Ridgecrest this past spring and was able to pitch it to an agent and a publisher. And they both said, okay, get with us. They wanted me to add 10,000 words, so I'm working on that. But it is a story. I'm kind of sticking with my women, but it's church women.
Okay.
And so it is a series starting in 1897 with 3 women who, in a small town, a fictional town in Florida, where I grew up. And so the concept is at their church, the one woman gets this idea because she wants to bring in the poor people from Crab Alley, which is, not acceptable in the, really nice First Baptist Church. They don't want these children coming in. So she starts a story time, and that leads to the Second Baptist Church. And so the series will be following the different pastors' wives, the different women in the church through the years as the church goes through its transitions and, deals with all society.
Good. That's a great premise. I love that. Yeah. Way to go. And you can write that forever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there are so many things that women go on, that undercurrent, all the drama.
Yeah, I love it. I love that. That's wonderful. Don't you just love it? God just gifts you with that. When was that just one of them Holy Spirit moments? It's like, okay, I got it.
Well, what's funny is I first wanted to work on this in 2018.
Okay.
They had the American Christian Fiction Writers came to Nashville. And at that point, we had just released our last movie. I'm like, okay, I'm going to write a novel. And so I met with this agent and I told her, and she's like, that's a great idea. Send it to me.
It is.
Well, I started working on it, and then God was like, no, I got all this other stuff I need you to do first. Okay. And so it wasn't until I finished with the daily, went through the Bible, I'm like, okay, now I can work on it. And I think there's a much more depth to the concept. And so I actually got to meet with that same agent at this conference, and I'm like, I don't know if you remember me, but I'm,
Still working on
yes.
it. Okay, that is very cool. I'm gonna be. I love fiction. I do better when it comes just to reading a book in fiction. Have you done have you done audio on this?
I've not, because the way it's set up, it doesn't lend itself,
I get you, 'cause
well
it's a
to
Bible
it.
study.
But I would
And-
love to do an audiobook. Yes.
Yeah, because see, that's the thing. I'm when it comes to a lot of study books, I need them audible because I can sit down. This one, this would be perfect for me because I can do this because it's in the little short snippets, and so I can do
Right.
it, and so I can dig it. I have a very hard time when it's something that I'm studying. Staying, if it's just page after page after page of context,
Yes.
I lose I get lost. So I will oftentimes, if I've got a book I really need, I will get it physically and audibly so I can do both.
Yes.
And that's what I'll do with the Bible a lot of the times is I will sit down with it playing and read through it because I'll start getting into some stuff and I just like glaze over. And so, and that's when I've learned about my students too. Everybody has different styles of learning, and it's helped me to identify, okay, this is how I learn this type of stuff. My husband, you can give him a textbook like this and he'll just start reading it and he just gets it. And me, I need an audio book for a lot of things. So yeah, you'll need to do that, I'm sure.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. But that's so cool. I'm so excited for you, and I'm so glad to catch up with you too.
Yes.
So anything we've missed that you want to cover before we wrap? I think Tiffany should be out there. Tiffany Thomson. If she doesn't show up, we'll just keep talking. But Tiffany should be out there. But anything that we've missed that you want to cover before we wrap it
That
up?
about covers my life.
Well, I tell you what. Tell them again how to find you, how to find the book, and then we'll make the switch. And so go ahead.
Well, they can go to SharonWilharm.com, which I know is maybe hard to spell. So you just go to allgodswomen.com
Okay.
and you'll end up at the same place. And that will direct you to my Facebook so you can connect. There's a contact form you can go through there. I have all the, like if you want to read, because I'm a visual person, you can read all the episodes that I've done. They're all
Cool. So
there.
the transcripts are there.
Yes.
Oh, cool.
And so they're
Okay.
set up as daily devotionals and as Bible studies
That's
for the longer
wonderful.
ones. So
That is wonderful. I love that. Oh, so cool. Congratulations.
Well, thank you.
That is wonderful. I am so glad to hear about this. Go to Crossroads, get the book, Women of Prayer from Sharon Wilharm of All of God's Women, on the famous lady of All God's Women. Thank you so much for coming
Thank you,
by.
Laverne.
And you have my phone number, right?
Yeah.
Text me when you want to come on, and just absolutely anytime. The door is always open. Love to have you come in. And I may pop in on your Bible study.
Okay.
All right. Thank
bye.
you so much, Sharon. God bless you. And we're going to reset and let her make her way out. And I know Tiffany's out there. Tiffany Thompson's coming in for United Way. I'm anxious to visit with her. It feels like it's been forever. Get in here. But we've got to talk for a minute about the heat index, guys. Today, Lee Marie just put up that the values are up to 106 degrees. Good heavens. It's hot out there, y'all. So please be careful if you're going to be out in the heat. Be safe, hydrate. You know all the things, but take care of yourself out in the heat today. Let's talk about Barry and Rebecca Richards with the Exit Realty Garden Gate team. My friends in real estate. They are just awesome friends, and Barry doesn't know it, but he's going to be coming back out to the school and helping me real soon because we're going to be back in class. And all I got to do is call him and say, hey, Barry, can you come help me? And he'll be like, well, of course I can. I was asking him the other day something about that I needed. He's helping me round up some equipment, some just small things I need that he thinks he can get donated. I say all this all the time because I want you to know this kind of people they are. They are in the community. They work in the community with so many things, helping so many people, and you are going to absolutely love working with them. If you have any kind of concerns from real estate, he can even teach you about bees too. I want to keep bees, so I'm going to.
I've got bees.
You've kept bees?
I have.
We'll have to talk about that.
Yeah.
But Barry is the bee superhero.
That's
He
awesome.
doesn't really do it now, but their family did it for years and years. But they're just great folks to work with in so many different facets. But the real estate community, you're going to love sitting down at the table with them. If you've got property you're trying to sell and maybe it's just not going anywhere, you need a marketer, and that's what Barry is. He was a marketer for 17 years with a media marketing company up in Nashville, vice president of it, and then went full-time real estate. I find it interesting. Rebecca came out of a radiology background many, many, many years ago. She was one of the first in the area to be a seniors real estate specialist, but that was her original job. And so they came out of careers and went into real estate. So if you're somebody that you're thinking you might want to do that, who better to mentor you? And so they say, come and let us us mentor you at the Exit Realty Garden Gate team. So if you want to see properties in Robertson County, they're Robertson Countyans up in Cross Plains. They've been there 27 years, I think. So they specialize in Robertson County properties, but also buy and sell in the surrounding counties and across the state line in Kentucky. You can connect with them at sellwithbecky.com, sellwithbecky.com, or buy, B-U-Y, robertsoncounty.com, or give Becky a call, 615-504-7425, 615-504-7425. Always let them know that U-Turn sent you. My goodness, it's been a minute.
I know, Laverne, I miss you.
I miss you too. Where's Brian today?
Brian's at the beach.
Oh, shame on you,
I
Brian. I think
know.
he'll be back. Everybody will be back in place next week, right? We're kind of all
I
back.
think
to
so.
normal
I
next
think
week,
we're going to like reset.
Well, because school's going to be starting. It's like kiddos. You don't have much time left.
Right?
Shut up, Miss Vivio. But a week from Monday, first day of school.
Oh,
Now,
my goodness.
teachers are back a week from tomorrow. We got in service next Friday.
Yeah.
But I'm ready for it. I really am. I'm a little nervous because I got no excuse now. I'm a second-year teacher, so I got to know what I'm doing.
You're
I got to know what I'm doing. But I guess I can say this now. My husband is going to be. He's at teacher orientation today.
He's going to be a teacher?
Yeah.
Oh,
Criminal
wow.
justice at Springfield. So I guess I can finally say that.
wow.
I think it's official finally.
Be full time?
Yeah.
My husband's going to miss him at the bus shop.
Well, yeah, and we didn't find, it's been a journey. If you want to be a career teacher, if you're wanting to go into the embedded program with teaching, it is wonderful, but it's a little bit daunting trying to get all the pieces in place.
Yeah.
But you can do it. And I actually think I'm going to produce something to help people do that, because having navigated the waters myself and my husband now, I think I'm going to put something together that's just like, okay, here's what we've learned, and this will help you, because we need teachers.
Right.
And it's if you're like me, and maybe you've had a really fun, cool career. My husband's had we've gotten to do some really interesting things in our careers. And now that we're older, we're definitely not ready to retire. We don't want to retire. What else can we do? You might be able to teach, especially if you've got a career, something unique. You can talk to them in the CTE program and say, hey, is there a program for this? And maybe you can bring an interesting, this is something I've heard in other, I don't know if we do welding here or not. There's one of the districts that I've talked to, one of the teachers I'm doing the education program with, and they have a teacher that's teaching welding, and these kids are coming out of school making incredible amounts of money. Just right out of high school because they were taught about welding. And there was one kid that was like an underwater welder, and like within 2 years out of high school making well over $100,000 a year.
Yeah, my brother-in-law was a welder.
Mind-blowing.
Yeah, he was a still welder, which is also, I guess, a specialty. And
yeah,
he was a still welder in Phoenix, Arizona. It was hot and hard.
Sure. But there are some really interesting careers, and I don't know. I'm excited. My husband's just over the moon excited, and we're just thrilled. And
I'm excited too.
And I think he's still going to be helping assistant coach at the middle school because at Coopertown, because those kids will be going into Springfield High School. So even though he's a Springfield High School teacher teaching in the criminal justice program, the kiddos coming up from Coopertown will eventually be at Springfield. So he's going to be going down to middle school and helping with coaching down there. So
that's awesome.
So
well, and I heard Chris Causey before he left say something about how he got like first year teachers a bigger pay bump, and so it's not like as poverty level to be a teacher anymore. So go.
Yeah, we need you.
Oh, yeah.
You. Oh, and I gotta say to this, my husband has a big background in shot put and disc, and that's something that they want. I'm thinking that maybe he can help do at Springfield High School
yeah,
too. So if
that'd
you've
be
got
awesome.
any kiddos in the high school that are interested in shot put and disc, my husband's the dude. He knows that stuff. But
dude, huh?
yeah, he's the dude. But
Awesome.
Anyway, I'm very proud of my hubby and very excited for this new opportunity.
Yay! Way to go, Mark.
And I'm going to miss the bus folks, though, because,
Yes.
that's, you become a family when you work with them. And, through my husband, I've gotten to know the bus shop and Mr. Heinerman and all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
So, it's bittersweet. Anytime you have to close one door to open another, it's always just kind of hard. So,
Yeah.
But, and he may, do some fill-in driving. That's something he just doesn't know how his schedule is going to work out. But, yeah.
That's
So he's in
awesome.
teacher orientation today, and he's working with the buses next week still. But
That's awesome.
yeah, we're pretty stoked. So
That's so cool. Way to
yay.
go.
And Tiffany's hubby is one of our best drivers, and we
He
appreciate
is.
him. Yes,
He
and
is.
he's full time, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, as full time as bus drivers are, but yeah, that's
well,
what
they
he-
don't
he
work
has
in
a
the
rep.
summer necessarily, but they're full time during the school year.
He did
This
summer
is-
school, so he just didn't work this month. This is the only month he had off. And
Oh,
so,
okay, yeah.
But yeah, he loves. In fact, we kind of did that while I was going to school, so that he could be home with the kids more. And now that I'm a couple hours away from finishing finally my last paper with my master's degree, I was like, so is this still like what you want to do? And he's like, I never knew I would love being a bus driver so much.
It's a lot of fun. You get to know the kiddos.
Oh, he's famous. When we walk around town, adults come and talk to me, and kids come and talk to him. I'm like, Mr. Josh.
Isn't that
So,
great?
Yeah.
I know, and that is fun when you're out in the store and they'll Miss Vivio, and you just I had some of my kiddos show up to come fishing. I've told all of them, I said, you can come fish at my house because they're in we live in a really good fishing with a great fishing hole just down from our house, and some of my kiddos showed up to fish, and they're like,
that's
we really
awesome.
can fish. I'm like, absolutely, go fish,
Sweet.
And
That's
so
awesome.
I just love them. I just love them.
Yeah.
I miss them this summer, so I'm gonna
That's
miss my
awesome.
seniors.
You're in the right
that-
place then.
I'm gonna miss my seniors that aren't gonna be there anymore.
That's
Because
the
there's
hardest
several
part.
of them. Yeah, I've been meaning all summer to write them a note, and I hadn't done it, so I got to do that. As they get into college, and some of them are just adulting right out of school. They're already in the workforce, and I'm so proud of them. Just so cool. We got some great kids coming up, guys. Some great
we
kids,
do.
and
Well,
you're raising half of them.
Only five. Only five.
Ah.
My twins turn 13 next week, and I'll have 4 teenagers. And I'm like, this is what I've been dreading since the minute I found out I was having twins.
That. I had 4 teenage boys all at the same time.
At least one's a girl, but that's also its own.
Yeah, honestly and truthfully, I think I'd rather have 4 teenage boys than 3 teenage boys and 1 teenage girl. Just saying.
Yep, it's
But
rough.
have
It's
you
rough.
got 1 girl or 2?
I have 2. Then I have an 8-year-old.
Okay, I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember the variety because you
Yes.
got a house full. You got a beautiful family.
Oh, thank you. Thank
Okay,
you.
So we've been sitting here just chit chatting. What are we promoting today?
Oh my
What you got
goodness.
going
We've
on?
got the really coolest thing in the whole entire world going on right now, and it's consuming a lot of my time, but it's really cool. But we have Electrolux reached out to me, and they, if you don't know, they also manufacture the Frigidaire products, and they have air conditioning units that they wanted to get out to our friends in need that might be like dying right now with this heat. And so we have a big air conditioning unit giveaway. They've been very generous. They donated 500 units.
Wow.
And so we're giving those away on August 29th, and we have a bunch of what's in the works right now is just a bunch of nonprofit partners are going to be a place where you can go get a voucher. So they do have to check an income thing and give you a voucher. That way, if you're working, the income level is like 200% of poverty. So it's very generous. Like if you're just struggling at all, you probably, or if money is not just like flowing into your bank account, you probably qualify. And so so you just have to get a voucher though. So you just go, you tell them how many people live in your house and how much money, and these nonprofit partners will give you a voucher. And then that way, if you are working, somebody else can come and pick it up for you, because we wanted to make sure that it was available to those who work, but also are,
Absolutely.
still need help. I mean, if you don't have a working air conditioning unit, there's
miserable.
you definitely, or even like it's insufficient for your home, because you're also, if you've got one, but everybody's huddled in one room because that's the only room that's cool, then you definitely come get another one. So for, help cool off another part of your house. And so anyway, they'll be on August 29th, and we want to get out the word as big and broad as we can, because we really want people to start using them right away. I mean, if you've got it to August 29th without air conditioning, bless you that you're still, you're still here. But anyway, so we're trying to get that word out big and wide. United Way is a place too. So if you want more information about it, you want to get verified, contact me. My number is 615-780-2511. And you can text me at that number.
That number again.
615-780-2511. Or you can email me at tiffany.thompson. Do not put a P in Thompson. tiffany.thompson@unitedwaygn.org.
Okay.
So that's one way. And then probably next week I'll have the list of all the other places that you can get verified, because that's what we're working on right now. And get a voucher. So
That is so cool.
Isn't
What
it
a
amazing?
great program. I love that.
I
And
know.
so needed. Oh my goodness.
I know.
Way to
It's
go,
hot out
Electrolux.
there.
You
It
bet.
is so hot. So I'm so super grateful to Electrolux. They do these like just massive, generous things every once in a while. They just call us up whenever
They
they
blow
have
your mind.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my gosh, yeah, we'll take that.
Yeah.
For sure.
So we're super excited to that's coming up. So that's huge. And then Saturday at the center is the back to school bash. This is put on by Chosen and Social Dweebs. It is just an opportunity for any kid that needs school supplies, needs just kind of pump the kids back up to go back to school. But there will be lots of school supplies and I think there's like food and all sorts of things there. Like it's just going to be a party. So come, bring your kids. And it's at the center. I know it's like 2. I don't know what time it ends, but we'll be there as United Way, and then the Robertson County Prevention Coalition will be there too. So I know we've got backpacks that we stuff the bus to hand out, and medicine lock boxes for Robertson County Prevention Coalition. We'll be giving those away. We've got a lot of those to give away, and so if you have your medications that aren't locked up. Like I walked into my bathroom the other day and we had like some leftover narcotics from a surgery sitting on the counter. I'm like, what? I'm like, why are these on the counter? And my husband's like, oh, they're bad. And I was just trying, figuring out what to do with them. I'm like, okay, well, don't leave them out.
Yeah.
We have kids. So anyway, you can get a lockbox and lock up any of those things so that your children,
Yeah, everybody thinks, well, my kids would never do that. You don't know that because things can happen and they can get curious and they, maybe a friend will say something or maybe even a friend's over and you don't even realize it, that they have a problem. They're working with Celebrate Recovery, guys. Oh my gosh, the stories I've heard and the people who you would never think, just don't take that risk. Don't take that risk and
absolutely
lock them up. Lock
just
them
the
up.
same way you lock up your gun, right?
Yeah.
Even if you don't, my kid's not suicidal, like you still keep your gun secure, right?
Yeah.
Whatever you do to keep your gun secure, keep your medication secure too, because you never know when a kid's like some boyfriend just broke up and they're feeling bad, so they go chug a bottle of pills before they even think about it.
Yeah. They just think,
So,
this will make me feel better.
I gotta be done.
Do it.
I gotta be done with this life or whatever. Or they just, I'm going to take one and see how I feel. And then they get addicted before too long.
That's just it. So I love that. So you've got the big back to school bash on Saturday. Now I will also tell you there is a Stuff the Bus going on as well at Walmart, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
y'all know about that?
I know a little bit about that. So it's really confusing. We keep trying to tell Nashville they need to change the name of our program because we don't actually stuff a bus at all. Like we stuff backpacks and give out backpacks. But so it is 2 different programs and they get confused. So what is going on Saturday at Walmart, these resources are going to the teachers. So the Family Resource Center also carries school supplies and they help if any teacher puts in a request, hey, I need this, they fill that, or if there are students that need school supplies, they fill that. And so that's what Saturday is. So go to Walmart, buy the school supplies, put them in the bus. They actually do legit stuff a bus here in Robertson County. And they fill up this bus with school supplies to help get these kids. We would love it if there was enough to get them through the whole entire school year.
Right.
It's not always that way. And so go and be generous. And right now, this is, as a homeschool mom, I didn't always stock up because I'm like, oh, I'll just get that later in the year. The school supplies are like 2 to 3 times more expensive other times of the year than they are in, the preschool or before school sales. So right now is the time that you can get reams of paper for 25 cents or whatever. So go be generous, even if you can only buy an extra box of crayons, it's like $1 or whatever, go do that and stuff the bus. So.
Well, and this is tax-free weekend. That's part of it. This is tax-free weekend. So you can go and you're going to save that 10% that you're not going to have to pay on things that are school-related clothes. Whatever I forget the particulars on what is covered on tax-free weekend. You can just go, to the Tennessee.
Technology is one of them.
I you could get a computer, no taxes. And so anything like that. And that really adds up because I buy things tax exempt for the church. And it's just stunning, how that really adds up, how quickly. Right. And you just don't really think about it. But, and as a teacher, you're talking about the school supplies. One of the things I want to do with my students this year is I want them, number one, to all have a folder that stays in my classroom for things so they don't lose them if we're working on a project. And I want them all to have one of those little ledger, like a little theme book, those little theme books.
Composition type
composition
book,
book.
yeah.
I couldn't think of what it's called.
Yeah.
Little composition book to have something that they can journal in,
Okay.
Yeah. And I know I could make a request for them to bring them in. Probably a third of them will.
Right.
And so I've got to have a source for those, so I can get those through the Family Resource Center, you think?
I'm pretty sure I don't run it, so I don't know as much.
But I mean, that's the thing. I'm learning as a teacher.
Yes.
Do I need to take my class funds and go buy those things or just, buy them myself? What do I need to do? Or is there a resource where there is an abundance of those? Because I'm probably going to need 75 or to 100, depending, because I'm wanting this not just for my students in my classes. I'm wanting it for my homeroom, my cat time kids too, because we always have initiatives and things we need to do. And especially my kids are going to be juniors, my homeroom. So we got to really do some ACT prep. And they don't want to. And so I'm trying to come up with unique ways to do it, just, I don't know. And so I think I could do that with some journaling and things like that. So, if anybody can clarify where I can get those things or if I just need to go, get them myself. But, I'm going to need a bunch of composition books and a bunch of little folders for them.
I should check for you. When we did Stuff the Bus for United Way, we got a lot of those composition books donated, and that's not what we put in our backpacks. We put the spiral bound ones. And so we donated anything that was extra to a company called Pencil, which is not a company, it's a nonprofit called Pencil. And I know they fulfill teacher stuff, and it's in Nashville, but I should see if we can.
Okay, well, yeah, if you hear anything about
access to that.
Because I'd love to have that for the kiddos when they get to school, first off. And I've been processing, they're not very expensive, so.
No, they're not.
No, they're super cheap. And
especially this weekend. They're going to be
really
cheap.
Yeah, and but just as a teacher, and as I'm going through my teacher training stuff, I'm just trying to come up with unique ways that I can engage with my kids in a variety of different ways. And that's one thing that we all have to work on is our writing skills. And, and they're not going to like it, but they're going to do it. Yeah. Let me pause and take a break. I'm talking with Tiffany Thomson, and she's with United Way. All the things, nonprofit, we say that United Way is the bridge builder to the nonprofits. The Chamber of Commerce is the bridge builder to the businesses, but United Way is the bridge builder to the nonprofits, and they're just wonderful. And now I can't engage with Tiffany on this one because she's not a Cumberland Electric customer, and she's so sad because we always joke about the gig club, and pretty much everybody that sits across this table from me that is a Cumberland Electric customer is a part of the gig club. What do I mean? You can get a gig for $80 into your house, and it is going to be amazing for you. It's called Cumberland Connect, and it is it is what is bringing all of us folks in the rural areas into the age of technology, allowing us to be able to work from home and do all the things that people who have had great internet have been able to do, and it is wonderful. And if you don't yet have them knocking on your door, they will soon. They're going to probably complete the installs. I think by the end of this year, first of next, for sure, they're going to have everybody reached within the Cumberland Electric community. But if you want to know if they're in your neighborhood, one thing, if you see this coil of wire on your utility pole, that means they're probably ready to bring it to your house. So you can just call them at 1-800-987-2362, 1-800-987-2362, or go to cumberlandconnect.org, put in your zip code, and it'll tell you the timeline of when they will be there to install. And you can be in the gig club too. Now, if a gig, $80, it sounds like a lot of money. Maybe you've got some financial issues. They have an affordable connectivity program because the internet is a utility now. It's replaced our telephone lines. And it is something that everybody needs. And so the connectivity program, the affordable connectivity program, provides qualifying households with monthly credit to help pay for internet services. And if you're eligible, you could receive a credit of up to $30 per month toward broadband services, and they have packages starting at $30 per month. Go figure. Cumberland Connect, a great sponsor of this program. And when you connect with them, let them know that their ad dollars are working and that you've heard about them right here. CumberlandConnect.org. Connect with them today. Tell them U-Turn sent you. Tiffany, what else do we need to cover today?
I'm just still sitting here about that Cumberland Connect, man. I pay almost twice that much money for less. I'm not at a gig, and I'm just like, man, that's.
You need to move to the county.
I know. Well, and when we moved to Tennessee, I was like, oh, I'm so excited to get rid of Comcast. And then we moved here, and that was the best internet in my neighborhood.
You're like, bummer.
I'm like, oh, and it's not bad internet. It just is a very for to get good internet, it's very expensive. So
Yeah.
anyway.
It's frustrating. In homeschooling, you need it.
Yeah, I got 5 kids that I homeschool. I work from home some days, and so we're on the internet. We like to stream and all that stuff, so it costs us a lot of money.
So get in touch with her, guys, if you want to find out all about all the things United Way, and if you've got some property to sell out in the county that you think would be perfect for her family. She would love to. Just isn't that funny? When people want to move just so they can get Cumberland Connect.
You want to move out to a rural area so you can get better internet.
That's crazy. That's awesome.
Crazy.
That's fun. That's fun.
I know.
All right, what else you got coming up?
Oh my goodness, we
It's all
got
about
all
back to
sorts of
school mostly. I know.
There's a lot of back to school stuff. Today's the state of the city though, and so I'll be serving lunch there. So come and say hi if you're going to be there with Kiwanis Club. So that's what we're going to be there today serving lunch for state of the city. I'm excited. Last year they announced that there's Chick-fil-A coming. So
I know you never know.
There's going to be a big announcement today. I heard Whataburger's coming to town.
I think that's already been announced,
I think
though.
it has.
Maybe they'll make that official. I've heard rumors that Whataburger's coming.
Yeah.
And so I know a lot of people are really excited about that. And, so I'm not a big fast food person. I think that's great.
I do like Chick-fil-A, though.
Yeah. I like them because it's Jesus' chicken. I mean,
That's what my husband calls it, too.
Jesus' chicken.
We had some yesterday, and he's
Well,
like,
they're such
chicken.
an amazing company.
They really are.
I mean, they're so good. And they just absolutely are devout Christians, and they do not apologize for that. And I just honor that.
They don't apologize for it, and they don't let it, break them down. And isn't that what we want for everybody? They just like the fact that they get a lot of criticism, and yet they're still the ones out there giving out sandwiches when there's natural disaster, or they're still out there serving the community, even though the community might not think highly. I mean, I know.
Yeah, they're there.
In the South, we don't have a lot of judgments against Christian beliefs, but out West, there was not everybody. There were people that did not eat at Chick-fil-A because they were Christian.
Isn't that incredible? Isn't that incredible?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh, something else that I want to mention too, and I it's a really bizarre reason why this just popped in my head, but rodeo weekend, y'all. Let's not forget to talk about this. The rodeo's happening tomorrow night and Saturday, so get out to the fairgrounds. The gates open, I think they said at 6, and there's all kinds of wonderful stuff going on at the fairgrounds in association with the rodeo, and then the rodeo starts at 8 p.m. and also too, you can go and you can meet Dakota. I can't even get this up. And they'll sign these for the kids. They're bullfighters. Dakota and what's the other kid's name? Tyler. So Dakota Brown and Tyler Torrey. And I mean, they're famous, these two guys. And Dakota's right here local. And
cool.
And so and so is Dennis and all these guys. You figure Dennis is a 4-time bull riding champion. And he is the one who runs this rodeo. But this is the Ram Tough Rodeo happening this weekend. We'll talk more about that tomorrow. But that's going on in the community. And, the reason why that popped in my head is you were talking about how some of them out west didn't want to go to Chick-fil-A because of the faith of it. I have some friends, they were at a rodeo in Texas, and they were talking about, they were so excited, and this bachelorette party comes in and sits down next to them, and they thought, well, this will be fun to watch, that they'd be entertaining. Well, at a lot of times, rodeos, and they really do a wonderful opening ceremony with the flag and prayer. And,
I cry every opening.
It's wonderful.
Little known fact about me, I am from the home of the world's oldest rodeo, Prescott, Arizona. And so it's a family tradition to go every single year. And those opening ceremonies, I cry every time. I'm also I don't know if you heard about the 19 firefighters that died in a wildfire about 10 years ago, and they always do a salute to them and bring in 19 horses without a rider. And every time I cry every time. Anyway, so
Yes,
Texas, sorry.
So she was sitting there, and she had these bachelorettes coming in, and they started doing this, breathtakingly beautiful ceremony, and they were just kind of being disrespectful through the anthem, and then they prayed, and then they started cussing. Well, I was blankety blank okay until they prayed, and then my friend's son looked over at him and said, "Welcome to Texas, ma'am." And I was like,
"Pray."
There you go. I'm going to get some Jesus on you. You know, we're the same as out of time. Let me do this break and we'll come back. And if you've got anything.
Okay, I got one last thing I got to plug. But
Okay, well, we're going to plug the races. We want you to get to the races. I keep telling everybody, try to find this magazine because it's a very valuable ticket on the back. This is a $40 value. You can take your whole family with this page to the races for free. This is worth, you can take up to 6 kids, 2 adults to the races for free with this back page, guys. And the gates open at 4 p.m. Racing starts at 6, goes until 9 o'clock. This is through October. This happens. If you're not sure if you like the races, get a hold of one of these and go for free, and you're going to fall in love with the local favorites that go around that track. It is so much fun. Jerry has done such a beautiful job with the old Highland Rim Speedway. If you need to follow them on Facebook, Highland Rim Speedway. You'll see the banner. It says Veterans Motorplex, and that's where you find out if they have rain delays or if they have to cancel because of weather or something like that. But they are going to be racing through October. We're in racing season right now. Hot and heavy going on. They're at 6801 Kelly Willis Road in Greenbrier. If you have questions, you can give them a call at 615-643-8725, 615-643-8725. But great racing happening every weekend at the old Highland Rim Speedway. It is Veterans Motorplex. Find one of these magazines. Go for free. And for $40, you can take up to 6 kids and 2 adults. So it's a great ticket. They've got a great concession stand. It's just a great time. Go to the races. Tell Jerry that U-Turn sent you. What else do you have, Miss
We
Tiffany?
bought a family pass at the Turning of the Pigs, so I'm excited to take my kids. But
Oh, dude. Yeah, it's wonderful.
we're
It's
so
a good
excited.
time. I got to take my grandson again. We just love it. It's so much fun. You
I
had
just
one more
wanted to,
thing.
I just wanted to plug real fast. Big Brothers Big Sisters.
Yes.
I had a conversation with them. There's a lot of different ways that you can get back. One of them, though, I just want to plug. It's down in Nashville, but it's called the Sports Buddy program, and they will pay for your tickets to like Predators games and all like Nashville Sounds games and all these things, and then you can buy concessions for your buddy if you want or whatever. But they provide the tickets, or sometimes you go and throw a frisbee around or whatever. But it's called Sports Buddies, and I thought that's really cool. And if enough people from around here want to do that, we might be able to bring the program to Robertson County or something.
Sports Buddies, how did they do? They need to reach out to you if they want to know more?
You can definitely reach out to me if you want to know more, or to Big Brothers Big Sisters. But yeah, reach out to me because I can always connect you to whoever you need to be connected to.
Okay, so that's through the Big Brothers Big Sisters program.
Yes.
Sports Buddies.
Yes.
Get in something, guys. If you want to volunteer, find a way to give back, contact this lady. She's connected to all of them. The Bridge Builder, to the nonprofits. Tiffany Thomson, Brian Pooley with United Way. Brian's MIA on the beach, but he'll be back next week. And we'll be back tomorrow here on One Street Over with my friend, Carlos Clemente. It's going to be fun. And, of course, Gwen Harder as well. Thank you for joining us. This is 1100 WSGI. God bless. Have a great day.